If you can be triggered, you can be controlled. And if you can be controlled, you will never be powerful. Most men don't lose because they are weak. They lose because they are predictable. And predictable men are easy to manipulate. Today, you're going to understand something that most people never realize. You're going to understand how control really works. Not control over others, control over yourself. By the end of this video, you will know why some men walk into a room and command respect without speaking, while others talk nonstop and still get ignored. You'll understand why silence is dangerous, why emotional reactions destroy leverage, and how to become the kind of person that cannot be manipulated. If you value strength, discipline, and mental clarity, like this video and subscribe. This channel is not for average thinking. It's for men who want control. Now listen carefully. The world is not controlled by the loudest people. It is controlled by the calmest ones. The moment someone insults you and you immediately react, you lose power. Because now they know how to move you. They know what button to press. They know how to shift your emotions. And once someone understands your emotional triggers, they can guide your behavior without you even noticing. That is control. Most people think manipulation is obvious. They think it looks like lies and deception. It doesn't. Real manipulation looks like emotional influence. Comment that makes you angry. A comparison that makes you insecure. Silence that makes you anxious. Praise that makes you addicted. You think you're making decisions, but your emotions are making them for you. And if your emotions are not disciplined, your life will never be stable. Look at the average man. He wakes up when he feels like it. He works when he feels motivated. He speaks when he feels emotional. He quits when he feels tired. He is not living intentionally. He is reacting constantly. Reaction is weakness. Observation is strength. The man who reacts instantly reveals himself, his insecurities, his ego, his fears, his need for validation. But the man who pauses, the man who looks, the man who listens before speaking, he gathers information. Information is leverage, and leverage is power. You don't need to dominate conversations. You need to understand them. You don't need to prove yourself. You need to position yourself. The strongest presence in any room is usually the quietest one, because calmness creates tension, and tension creates attention. Emotional men demand respect. Disciplined men attract it. There is a difference. If you constantly need to explain yourself, you have no authority. If you constantly need approval, you have no confidence. If you constantly react, you have no control. Control begins in small moments. When someone disrespects you and you stay calm. When someone challenges you and you don't rush to defend yourself. When someone ignores you and you don't chase. Most men cannot handle silence. Silence makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to confront their thoughts. So they fill space with noise, talking, posting, arguing, explaining. But noise reduces value. Scarcity increases it. The more emotionally stable you become, the less accessible you are to manipulation. Think about it. If praise controls you, you will chase approval. If criticism controls you, you will fear action. If rejection controls you, you will avoid risk. If comfort controls you, you will avoid growth. Control your response, or your response will control your future. Emotional discipline is not about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering them. You can feel anger without exploding. You can feel fear without retreating. You can feel doubt without stopping. Most people are ruled by comfort. Comfort is subtle control. It whispers, "Rest today. Don't push too hard. You deserve a break. Do it tomorrow." And slowly, comfort builds chains. Discipline breaks them. Discipline is choosing long-term power over short-term pleasure. Waking up early when you don't want to. Training when you're tired. Working when you're unmotivated. Staying silent when you want to react. Each small act of control builds internal strength. And internal strength creates external authority. Power does not begin with money. It begins with self-respect. Self-respect is built when you keep promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and you don't, you weaken your identity. Every time you avoid discomfort, you reinforce weakness. But every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you build control. And control compounds. Men who cannot control themselves try to control others. They gossip, they criticize, they dominate conversations, they seek validation. Men who control themselves don't need to prove anything. They move deliberately, they speak strategically, they choose when to engage and when to walk away. Walking away is power. Not reacting is power. Not explaining is power. When people cannot read you emotionally, they cannot manipulate you. That's why mystery creates respect. Predictable emotion creates vulnerability. You don't need to be aggressive to be powerful. You need to be stable. Stability is intimidating. Calm face under pressure. A steady voice in chaos. A controlled response in conflict. That is rare, and rare is valuable. Most men destroy their own leverage by oversharing. They reveal their plans, their insecurities, their frustrations. Information given freely reduces advantage. Observe more than you reveal. Speak less than you know. Act more than you announce. Let your results introduce you. The man who constantly talks about his goals rarely achieves them. The man who quietly works eventually forces the world to notice. There is a reason predators move silently. Noise alerts resistance.
Silence créate surprise.
This does not mean you become passive. It means you become precise. Controlled men are not emotionless. They are intentional. They choose reactions. They don't default to them. Before you speak, pause. Before you respond, think. Before you react, breathe. That pause is where power lives. In that small space between stimulus and response is the difference between average and dangerous. Dangerous does not mean violent. It means capable. Capable of restraint. Capable of patience. Capable of decisive action. Most people move emotionally. Powerful people move strategically. And strategy always defeats impulse in the long run. If you want to become hard to manipulate, you must detach from immediate emotion. Ask yourself in heated moments, is this reaction helping me or exposing me? Is your anger strengthening your position or weakening it? Is your need to reply building authority or showing insecurity? Sometimes the strongest move is no move. Sometimes the most powerful statement is silence. Remember this, whoever controls your emotions controls your direction, and whoever controls your direction controls your destiny. If you cannot sit alone without needing distraction, you lack internal control. If you cannot handle criticism without collapsing, you lack internal stability. If you cannot endure discomfort without quitting, you lack internal strength. Build that strength. Train your mind the same way you train your body. Repetition, pressure, consistency. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations intentionally. Cold mornings, hard conversations, difficult tasks. Each one teaches you control. Each one increases tolerance. And tolerance increases dominance over self. You don't become powerful by overpowering others. You become powerful by mastering yourself. Once you master yourself, others feel it. They sense the calm. They sense the control. They sense the stability. And stability is magnetic. In a chaotic world, the calm man becomes the center. In an emotional society, the disciplined man becomes rare. And rare men are respected. You have two choices: live reacting to everything around you, or live responding intentionally. React like everyone else, or observe like the few who lead. Control yourself, or be controlled. If this shifted your perspective, like the video, If you're serious about building mental discipline and real power, subscribe and start practicing control today, not tomorrow.